Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Three Musketeers podcast.
Where we conquer your questions.
And your attention span.
It's a pretty good intro.
Yeah, that was a pretty good intro. Hey, Aiden may have put us onto that intro. Aiden, you did a pretty good job right up there.
Hey, you did pretty good too, man.
Thanks. Hey, you too, Jace. You did pretty good. Hey, I guess teamwork makes the dream work. You know what I'm saying?
I guess you could say that.
Anyways, today's question comes from our boy William Thomas Blake. Hey, shout out to my boy Big Will. But he was wondering, what does the Kanye line mean when he says, "Like a fly Malcolm X by any means necessary"? That's from the Good Morning off graduation.
I was listening to that album. I was recently listening to it. Such a good album.
It is.
And that line, I heard it in Good Morning. That line's so good. Alright, but I'm sorry. It was a little bit funny to me. Whenever I was listening to it, I was like, I'm sorry, did my boy Kanye West just really use a civil rights icon for a fashion bar?
I mean, for real, it kind of threw me off guard, but if you think about it, though, that line's kind of deep.
It's a little too deep for me because I don't understand it,
Oh, okay. It's good you're on the podcast then.
It is. But to understand you gotta know who Malcolm X was and why he said by any means necessary.
Oh, because Kanye said by any
jeans necessary.
He's buying jeans.
Okay, but he was basically saying like Malcolm X by any means necessary.
Yeah.
But I mean, to understand that, we gotta go
all
the way back. Wait. All the way back. All right. So picture this. All right, the year is 1877, right?
You said 1877?
1877?
1877.
Like 1877.
1877, right? All right. Reconstruction after Civil War has literally just ended. So during the Civil War, the South was decimated, like demolished, gone, disappeared. It was like, some like Godzilla done walked through there. Everything's leveled out, right? So Reconstruction is happening. You have federal troops down there helping with Reconstruction. They're trying to keep the peace between the people in the South, right? And then, when Reconstruction is done, they leave. And every single thing that the formerly enslaved people had gained after the Civil War, it all starts collapsing.
It really was. Like, voting rights were gone. Schools were defunded. Lynching skyrocketed. The KKK's Taylor campaigns go unchecked. Jim Crow laws start spreading like wildfire.
It's crazy to me because it's almost like America really just hit Control-Z on black freedom and everything they worked for.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. The historian Eric Foner, he called that moment the retreat from equality. But you see, here's the thing, though. Even though we were retreating from equality, the black folks didn't take it. No. You had early activists fighting back in different ways.
What's that dude's name? Frederick
Douglass.
Frederick Douglass. He was still going strong in the 1880s. He's saying agitate. He believed progress came through moral persuasion and public pressure.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Booker T. Washington had a whole different fight. He said basically, let's not fight head on. Let's build schools, business, skills. He really just wanted to a more passive.
More passive approach to
or passive
problems.
Economic approach.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
What was his name?
I think remember, the guy W.E.B. Du Bois. I'm pretty sure Miss Douglas the GOAT obviously said Du Bois.
Yeah, she did say Du Bois.
But he was kind of like the opposite of Booker T. Washington. He was like, we need to protest. We don't need to be passive. He started the Niagara movement in 1905, and then later, a little bit later, he started the NAACP. Well, he was pushing for legal challenges and stuff. You feel me?
Yeah, and he was with more direct activism approach. He wanted it now. He wanted freedom, everything they worked for back right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And then. So from the jump, we already have the split between the two sides, passive or more aggressive in a way.
Yeah.
We have uplift through education and resistance through protest.
Yeah, you can already see like the blueprint, the base construction for the later debates of Martin Luther King Jr. versus Malcolm X. Like that didn't come out of nowhere. It was like the basis of it.
Yeah.
The two sides started back in the 1800s.
But if we go ahead and fast forward into the early 20th century, segregation is literally everywhere.
I think, what was it, the Plessy?
Yeah, it was Plessy, Ferguson.
Yeah, it was like the separate
And,
but
like,
equal.
They said separate but equal, but like I'm not gonna lie. In reality, it was separate, but it was never, ever equal.
I mean, yeah, you can just tell, like, from like the Ida B. Wells and her pamphlet Southern Horrors, like you can tell how it wasn't equal because she was risking her life documenting lynchings from like mobs and stuff. So like, think about it. You have these people, they say separate but equal, but in reality, you have these people getting like lynched and they're getting killed and brutally murdered just because their skin color is different. That's not separate but equal. You know what I'm saying? That's horrible. I mean,
but she really laid the groundwork for activism that combined truth telling with protest.
So she was like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And what was that dude's name? Marcus Garvey.
Yeah.
Marcus Garvey. I'm not gonna lie. He entered the scene. I think I know a little bit after him, but 1910s, 1920s. But he had a different energy. He was all about black pride, self-reliance, and nationalism. That one movement, his UNIA movement, massive, huge, ginormous.
Massive.
It was promoting the idea of Africa for the Africans.
Yeah. So like, he's like, that's all like, pride in your skin color. You know what I'm saying? And so at this point though, we already see a couple lanes forming. About three. We got your legal reform, which is basically, it's Du Bois and NAACP. So that's him fighting for rights. Then you have your economic uplift, Washington. That's him trying to say, hey, we as a people, we need to work together and fund our schools and give ourselves better education. We need to make ourselves, I guess his idea was like to make himself kind of be on the same level as other people before they could fight for like their social rights. You know what I'm saying? And then you have the black nationalism from Garvey, the one you were just talking about, Africa for the Africans. That's like a sense of pride. So you already have those three lanes forming.
Now let's jump to the 1940s. World War II happens, and suddenly black soldiers are fighting for freedom abroad while being denied it at home.
I mean, like, honestly, like, the contradiction is wild. I mean, think about it. They are sending black Americans over to fight, to liberate the concentration camps, to free the Jewish people,
When they
to
don't
fight
even
for
have
democracy.
they don't even have the same freedom either.
They don't even have the same freedom that they're giving to the Jewish people. Like, they go home, right? They're fighting, and then they get sent home on black buses because the Jim Crow laws don't let them be on the same buses as white people.
Joke.
Come on. Like,
So stupid.
And that tension led to the Double V campaign. Victory against fascism overseas and victory against racism at home.
And that momentum, it built into the 1950s. You got Brown versus Board in 1954. Montgomery bus boycott in 1955. And then, on the side you have your little sit-ins, your freedom rides. And this has become the age of non-violent resistance led by people. It's led by the GOAT, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
I'm just kidding. Alright, but Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he had a strategy. And it wasn't random. Did you think it was random, Jace?
No.
No. What about you, Aiden? You think his strategy was random?
No comment.
No comment. Well, because it wasn't random. No. It came from Christian theology and Gandhi's philosophy of Satyagraha, which meant truth.
Satyagraha? I believe that's
Satyagraha, which basically meant truth force.
But it also had deep roots in the older Du Bois traditions, using moral argument and public visibility to expose injustice.
Nonviolence wasn't weakness, it was strategy. Martin Luther King said nonviolence is a powerful and just weapon which cuts without wounding and ennobles the man who wields it.
Or alert, or alert.
He's too tough.
He is, but see, as tough as he was, not everybody agreed with him. Not everybody thought
There was
that.
a flip side?
There's a flip side.
On the other hand?
On the other hand.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, not everybody agreed with him. They said, nah, turning the cheek isn't enough. It's not going to cut it. We need to be more.
They were messing with the passive thing.
We need to be more violent.
Yeah.
We need more aggression.
You know, and that one guy, who was that guy?
I think
that one guy.
Malcolm X.
Yep.
Malcolm X. Malcolm, my buddy. We go way back, by the way. Just want that to be known. Malcolm X, you know, he was coming in the hot saying, we're not outnumbered, but, you know, we are out organized.
Yeah, for real. Like, I mean, it's crazy.
Insane.
Malcolm's whole philosophy.
What was his philosophy?
Malcolm's whole philosophy, by any means necessary, wasn't just anger. It was a response to the failure of America to change. He saw nonviolence as asking permission from oppressors.
So like he saw it as like saying like, oh, like we're good, like, you know, like we're not gonna actually fight. We're just gonna, you know, ask you. We're gonna ask for you to be nice to us. While this dude Malcolm is like, nah, we ain't asking. It's going to happen. I mean, and that comes a lot from his background. He grew up under Garavite parents, and he was imprisoned in Islam.
In prison. He was in prison.
Yes. Wait, let me check out where he was in prison. Was he in prison in Islam?
Nah, I don't think he was in prison.
Nah.
I think he was just in prison.
But he found the Islamic faith while he was in prison. He became.
Yeah, he did. I remember reading about that actually.
Yeah, he became part of the Islamic faith while he was in prison. You know, like, yeah.
That's pretty crazy. You know, his message was like, you know, black people, they have the right to self-defense and self-determination. He called out white liberals and the media for sanitizing the struggle.
He come out for trying to keep it squeaky clean, like saying, nah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But it was that bad.
It was bad. Terrible.
Bad, horrible.
Yeah.
Joke.
And after his break from the nation, Malcolm evolves. He visits Mecca, sees Muslims of all races, and starts connecting the black freedom struggle to global anti-colonial movements.
And that's what the historians call the international turn in civil rights. So like Black Power, Pan-Africanism, anti-imperialism.
Intertwined.
They all intertwined. They all became
Fused
one.
together.
They fused together.
Fused together. I look you like that too.
Yeah.
You know, now we got, you know, MLK preaching nonviolence, and then on the other hand, you know, on the flip side, we've got Malcolm X, or you know, I like to call him Malcolm because you know, I just you know, he was preaching self-defense and like, you know, but they weren't total opposites. You know.
Yeah, they weren't like exactly like complete opposites. Like everybody likes to fantasize and fictitious about, be all fictitious and say they're opposites. But that's lies.
By the late 60s, King himself had become more radical, criticizing capitalism and the Vietnam War. He said, the bombs back in Nam exploded at homes.
Back in Nam?
Wait, it's coming back to me. No, they're in the trees.
They're in the trees.
Jace, there's no one in the trees, bro. There's no one in the trees.
They're in the trees.
No,
They're definitely in the trees.
They're not in the trees.
They're in the trees.
Jace, we're not in Nam anymore. We're not in Nam. You're safe.
Bro,
You're home.
Okay, bro.
You're home. You're in your bed. You're sleeping.
You're chilling, bro.
You're chilling. You're chilling.
Good, bro.
You're chilling. But on the flip side, to Martin Luther King Jr. saying that, on the flip side, you had Malcolm X. And this was before he was killed in 1965, RIP by the way. And he started seeing value in unity, and he told Coretta Scott King, who was Martin Luther King Jr.'s wife, he told her that he respected her husband's mission, which was Martin Luther King Jr.'s mission.
Yeah. You know, now we got this non-violent versus militant divide, but it wasn't static. It really did just evolve. You know, they both wanted liberation. They wanted the same things, but you know, they just differed. They differed on tactics and their timing.
Different in tactics and timing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's like the main part.
Yeah. Historians like Jacqueline Dowd Hall argue that the civil rights movement wasn't just the 1950s to 1960s thing. It was a long civil rights movement, stretching from the Reconstruction to the 1970s. Reconstruction,
Bro,
1877.
Dude, that was like back in like, yeah, that was like back
1877 to 1970s. So, yeah, I mean...
Like, just above, like, or just about, like, 100 years.
Yeah, I mean, like, the fight didn't begin with Rosa Parks. It didn't end with Martin Luther King Jr. dying. It's all a part of one long continuing struggle. Like, one long continuous struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, you know.
You know, fast forward to today, and you can still hear echoes of both philosophies in this world today.
Exactly.
Same.
Black Lives Matter, for example, pulls from both non-violence protests, yes, but also a refusal to apologize for black anger or identity.
And that right there, all that information put together, brings us full circle back to Kanye's line. Kanye wasn't just being clever. No. He's tapping into that cultural memory of Fly Malcolm X. That means he's proud, he's unapologetic, and he's stylish. By any means necessary. So that flips the script on a radical slogan used by Malcolm X. It flips it into consumer culture satire.
You know, because he's consuming the jeans.
Exactly.
And, you know, buy any jeans necessary. He's willing to buy any pair of jeans,
just to look good, to be a Fly Malcolm X.
Just to be a Fly Malcolm X.
This guy's going to speak his mind and look good at the same time.
He's so tough.
I love him.
Yeah, love that guy. And, you know, it's humor, but it's also kind of a critique, you know, of how the revolutionary image of black resistance gets commercialized.
Exactly. The message remains, whether through peace or power, the fight for dignity continues.
So from Reconstruction to Black Power, the Civil Rights Movement wasn't one story. It was many voices, many strategies, but one goal.
Man, that's inspirational.
For real.
And whether you choose King's dreams or Malcolm X's demand, both paths were and are about freedom, and both completely fine.
Exactly. And that's like the legacy that we all inherited.
You know?
We all inherit.
And that's what we learned about.
That's what we learned about today. I mean, it goes full circle. I mean, it started off as a Kanye podcast. It kind of turned into a little bit of a civil rights podcast now.
You know,
definitely.
All unscripted, by the way.
Truly inspirational.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, y'all. But that's it for today's episode of the Three Musketeers podcast. And please join us next time for a little podcast on scholarship interviews with our guest Samuel.
Ooh, yeah, with our guest Samuel.
All right, but anyways, bye.
Bye.